Welcome back to Younger MMA. This is episode 3 of your guide through the dystopia. And really, guide through the dystopia means a guide through depression, because what's happening right now is because of the way that the system is set up and the way people live. We have lost our spark. And if you've ever heard of zoochosis, so zoochosis is a mental illness that happens to animals that are in the zoo, where being basically not in their natural habitat starts to catch up to them, and they will exhibit strange behaviors like walking in circles, and you can't stop them, or rocking back and forth, basically going crazy, right? Zoochosis. And it's a result of them not being in their natural environment. And a lot of people basically believe that the mental illness problem that we have right now, a mental health problem, is the human equivalent of zoochosis, because we're living a way that we're not supposed to. And so I want you to think about the word depression. Like, if you ever think about root words and you look up root words from like Latin and Greek and stuff, and a lot of English words have roots that you can kind of learn a lot about words and their meaning from. Depression to me always sounded like the opposite of expression. Expression is like, the root word ex is external, so like expressing, like putting something out. And depression is like the opposite of that. You're compressed and you're not expanding and you're not expressing yourself. And the times that we feel more happy, we feel more animate. Think about that word, animate. And then what is inanimate? So inanimate, like an inanimate object, is something without life. And animate or animated, like if someone says, oh, that person is very animated, it means they have a lot of charisma. And what I'm trying to get across here is, when I talk on this channel about looking at discipline as every action that is good, so every action of discipline that is suffering for your future, that you get some energy from it, and it'll affect your inner condition. So the way you feel, your mental health. It's not necessarily about what you're doing and are you progressing, are you getting results. It's more about the fact that you perform the type of action that deposits good energy into your aura. Nowadays, a lot of people talk about aura. Oh, that guy has aura. Oh, she has aura. How do you get that? Well, let's work backwards. We know how to get depressed, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious how you get depressed. You just really go hog wild with your vices, don't have any self-control, don't leave the house, don't, put yourself out there, just be isolated and don't take care of yourself. Very easy to get depressed. And like I said, with the root words, depression is like the opposite of expression. So that's it. A depressed person is an inanimate person. It feels as though your soul is not in you when you're depressed, right? And so every time that we take action that is meaningful pain, the meaningful pleasure that we will get in return for that is not always the result. Sometimes it's that energy. And when people talk about things like energy work, particularly with like celibacy, so like sexual energy, people call it life force. Another way of saying that is animating force. And you don't have to, like, celibacy is obviously a part of it, but it's not like you have to be a monk for the rest of your life to get this energy. Like, you could get it faster than you think. You could be really depressed today, like you can't even get yourself to do anything, and all you really need is one good day to turn that around and get out of the rut. And so when I talk about depositing this energy into your well, into your reservoir, the energy that you're depositing into yourself is the animating force. It is what will animate you. So if right now you feel depressed and like you have no aura, like when you're depressed you feel kind of goofy. Like you feel as though your words don't have gravity. Like you're talking, but you're just like halfway through the sentence, you're like, oh, I don't even know what the fuck, like, And other people feel that because that's how you feel about yourself, so that's how they're going to feel about you as well. And I believe that it's really about your actions. So I've said on this channel a bunch of times that when I've built up this energy, from my actions that my mental state didn't really matter. So if I was really, really nervous and not confident, I could still make a good impression with people if I have enough of this energy, right? If I'm carrying enough of it. And the opposite is true as well if I was really, really confident. So like in high school, for me, I had basically a false foundation. Like my personality was built on things that was kind of a lie. Like in high school, I was bodybuilding. And it was very surface level. Like, even though I kind of started to learn this philosophy, it was really about, you know, gaining muscle. And then if I have enough muscle, then I'll just be magnetic. I'll have charisma, and I'll be this, and I'll be that. But what I found is no matter how confident I was, and I could be really, really confident, but if I wasn't carrying enough of that energy, there would be no gravity to my words. I wouldn't really be magnetic. I hope you understand what I'm saying here. So it's like every time that you do something that is like a sacrifice for your future, you deposit a little more of it. And over the long term, what it looks like is when you're on this path more often than not, so you don't have to be perfect, but just every time you fall, you get back up, and you're on this path more than you're not on this path, then it's like the average of all your actions kind of equals out to like your energy. Like that's where your aura will be. So to have real aura, like that's going to take years. That's kind of the sad part, is that like, yeah, you can make gains in the short term and it'll fluctuate and stuff, but real aura, like a real personality with a real foundation and a real frame, as they like to say, like in the red pill world, like frame, to have a real solid one that goes deep and is deeply rooted, it takes years. And you even might have to kind of like burn down the structure that you currently have. That's what happened to me. I had to basically start over, but with the understanding that what I was trying to do was build energy. And so it's almost like you just want to become the person that deserves the things you want, and then go from there. But it does take years. It's not a short-term thing. So the reason I'm calling this series Guide Through the Dystopia is because obviously we have all these distractions, and it's almost like an attack. Like there's things attacking, like coming in, trying to take your attention, your energy 24/7. So if you've made like any progress, like with anything at all, then you're basically just killing it, like a lot more than you realize, because the system was set up for you to not ever do that. And so yeah, you go down this path. It takes time, but you will get aura and you will get charisma, but there's just no shortcuts. Like if you try to fake charisma, it can only take you so far before people kind of find out like what's really going on. It can't be fake. I mean, it can. It'll fool some people. But if you really want real results, and if you really want like the real foundation, the real deal, it takes a long time. But focus on that, because that will obviously bring you joy. It feels good to have that energy, and we all know what it feels like when you deplete it enough to where you get to the point where you're in depression. So try to look at things through this lens, and don't get so bogged down about the things that you have to do right now, because it's not always going to be like that. Do what you have to do now, and you won't have to later. And all these actions that you take, you'll reap the benefits. You'll have the energy, and the energy will open doors for you. It will attract people to you, and you can have what you want. You actually can. And think about this. You know how I said the whole system is set up to distract you? Well, then a lot of people are probably not grinding like you are. So let that make you excited. Separate yourself from the pack, you know. Make yourself stand out. All right, this is Younger MMA. I'll be back soon. Peace.